to keep moving forward in spite of the setbacks. A line like that makes me think about my dad because of where he came from and the challenges he faced and basically where he ended up coming to the point he is today. Being his son, I've gotten closer to him as the years have gone by, luckily, and I've talked to some of his friends from college and from high school, and they all have given me great stories I'd like to share with you today. During the speech, I just really want to tell you about his childhood, where he came from, as well as the challenges he faced, and one of his greatest successes that actually was involved with Cal Poly. So my dad grew up in Chula Vista, California, where he had little to no money, so he had to focus on school and sports to stay out of trouble. And for school, it didn't come that easy to him, so he really focused on just studying every day and night. And when I asked some of his buddies about him, some of the best memories of him were when they were laying on their bed during a game, and my dad was sitting with a desk lamp on that actually he still has today. And he was studying, and they didn't understand what he was doing. But that studying ended up paying off, because during one of his finals at Cal Poly, he turned in the final and told the teacher that was the study guide, or the answer key, which I don't recommend doing that because that's pretty bold. But it worked for him, and that's pretty cool to him. And that work ethic really transferred over to sports because he understood that with no money, he really had to earn a scholarship. So he ended up going to Hilltop High School, where he played football, baseball, and basketball. And it was his first year playing football for tackle because his mom didn't allow him to, but he ended up making varsity due to being tough. By his junior year, he was a captain in all 3 sports, as well as he had a full-ride scholarship to Stanford. While I thought his life was going to be in a perfect way, during his senior year, he ended up actually getting hit during a scrimmage and tore his ACL. While they didn't know if it was torn at the time, the way he describes it to me was that they took him in for the x-ray because they didn't have good MRIs. They put 2 wood planks on either side of his knees, and they pulled his ankles apart. And then they took the x-ray, which, as you can imagine, it's not that pleasant. But once they told him his ACL was torn and he'd be out for a year, he felt like his life was falling apart, and that's how my grandma remembers it, because she talked about it was the first time he ever cussed, which was perfect. But anyway, Stanford ended up actually revoking their scholarship, which crushed him even more. And for a while, for probably about 3 to 4 weeks, he felt like he had nothing left. But then he realized he could come back from it, so he used his crutches to keep his body strong. And after that year, he ended up coming to Cal Poly, where he walked onto the baseball team, which is extremely hard to do. They ended up offering him a scholarship later, and in 1989, him and Cal Poly won their first baseball championship. And that's something that still hasn't happened to this day for them. But other than that, he really just proved that no matter what happens to you and wherever you come from, even if you get held back, you really can just keep pushing, and as long as you're working to be the best you can be, you can keep going through life. Thank you.